Alright, hello there. I find that there's not really a lot of content online about North Carolina native plant gardens. This is mostly a native plant garden. Some of the things that you see that aren't native are like the zinnias here and some of those cosmos right there that you see too. But I wanted to do a quick little video showcasing my little beautiful garden towards the end of August. So I first started this last year. During the winter, I put down a whole thing of cardboard and a bunch of mulch. And then in the springtime, I came and planted out this back row of things. We have a swallowtail butterfly there on the zinnias. So I'll kind of go like bed by bed, I guess. These are going to come to life in October. They are October sky asters with a Joe Pye weed there. We have a Monarda here that's kind of gone to seed. And I also let all this horsetail fleabane, I think is what it is. And then over here we have my little apple tree, Fuji apple, sneezeweed, goldenrod, the obedient plant or false dragonhead is coming to life now. And this one really spread a lot this year, which I'm fine with because it's really beautiful. And behind it here, we have Sochan, or cutleaf coneflower. Look at all those pollinators on there. Love that one. Definitely like draws your eye towards the back of the garden. Got a bunch of zinnias here. I also have some coneflowers planted back there too. They've kind of been toppling over, which is fine. But we've got pink ones, white ones. This is a rattlesnake master. It's kind of leaning over into the path, which is fine by me because I just push it aside. Some more zinnias. These I just planted a couple months ago. These are some golden alexanders because I've been seeing a lot of black swallowtails and I don't have any host plants for them. So I added that to the garden this year. And I've got all these bugs flying all over me. This one is beautiful. This is the Agastache. This one kind of got a little floppy in the rain, but I really love like the way that it looks when it's kind of leaned over like that. And this is another aster here that'll bloom in a couple weeks, I'm sure. We have some liatris that is going to seed. I did have a coneflower here, but it kind of all died. But the goldfinches come over here and they love the seeds. Then I've got a serviceberry here, which is really beautiful in the springtime, and the berries were yummy too. I have a ironweed. This was a volunteer bonset that came up last year. It was just one stalk, and now this year there's about 4 different stalks, which is pretty cool. We have some coreopsis down below here, and my favorite right now to come and check out is this milkweed. And let's get a little sneaky peek. Oh my god, they're so elusive. Here's one over here. Of my monarch caterpillars. There's like several throughout this patch here. I had one plant last year and then bought a couple more starts this year, and it really kind of has taken over, which is cool. I use grass clippings from the yard as pathways around. And then here's another little shot. You can see actually a monarch caterpillar right there. These are blue mist flowers that I added just a couple weeks ago, and they're already starting to bud up, which is really beautiful. Very drop seed grass. We have some Shenandoah switchgrass, I believe is that one. Some Monarda there. Behind is some more switchgrass. And trellising on the fence over there is the cave bean that was found in the southeast in a clay pot. And scientists took it and germinated it and found out that it was a 1,500-year-old pole bean. This is a spot that I added to the garden this year, and this is my favorite. I mean, it's still beautiful, but it was my favorite in the springtime when there's a bunch of tadpoles in there. So it's a stock pond that I dug halfway into the ground, and I got all these kind of cut pine trees from somebody on Facebook Marketplace. I have in here, there's a frog that just jumped in. So I have here, which actually there's a little bee on right now. pickerel weed, and wapato or arrowhead Sagittaria latifolia. I know some of the native names, but not most of them. This one was a volunteer from a pot that I got of this sneeze weed. You can see it down there from a native plant nursery, and I guess I just had a seed in there by accident. This is swamp sunflower. This is like well over 5 feet tall now, so can't wait to see the blooms. Then a bunch of zinnias all around. This is where I started. Over here I have some mountain mint. I've been kind of adding and increasing the square footage throughout the season, so there's like a couple of small little things over here that I just planted just to have something going. This is one of those pole beans again. I definitely need to get a better trellis for it next year. Down over here, underneath the cosmos here, are the Mexican hat. And that's been blooming literally all season, which is great. And I put that in as starts this year. Some marigolds. This one is a, oh my gosh. It's like a hibiscus, it's a rose hip hibiscus or something like that, where I haven't gotten any flowers, but the seed pods are used to make some teas. Got my zinnias again. Cosmos. And let me get a better angle of this mountain mint because it's beautiful. This is always covered in pollinators. I feel like a lot of wasps and bumblebees really like this one. Then I have some volunteer goldenrod that came up this year, so I'm excited to see that bloom. We have a little spider's nest here in the purple lovegrass. Actually, a couple spiders. Another ironweed, but this one is threadleaf ironweed. This is an evening primrose that I don't know if it'll bloom this year. I did have a couple of them, and I have another in another spot in the garden. But then here we have those October sky asters again. And I did transplant a little of the blue fortune back there, if you can kind of see those flowers. We have blue-eyed grass, the Joe Pye weed again. This is literally arching over into the path so bad, but I'm fine with it. I take the seeds and I throw them up on the hill. A lot of this back there is been cut back kind of by my property, but it is Korean bush clover or Chinese bush clover. I have a lot of this fire American burnweed that comes up, and I love seeing the goldfinches collect the little fluffy seed heads, I guess, for their nests. And then back there I have a tulip poplar that's growing by itself, salvia, blue salvia, a fig tree that I had, and then literally a whole row of strawberries that came from 4 strawberries that I planted like 2 years ago in my container garden, transplanted the runners and everything, and it's just taken over. I transplanted some of the sochan back there. You could actually see some right there of the false dragon head. And in this row, I've just got a bunch of blueberries, strawberries. I have to add some more to those next year, but over here, oh look, you can see little milkweed bugs enjoying that seed pod. We have some boneset that's coming up, and in between there was Lanceolea coreopsis, which you can see the seed heads of. But this one's really starting to take over now because it's approaching into fall. I might have to take a special solo video of that one because that looks really beautiful today. We've got another blueberry, basket flower, little hydrangea. It's kind of just my like catch-all area of a bunch of different stuff. Ooh, some little bug has been getting on in there. Cucumber that I literally never pick from. Got blueberries on this rabbit eye blueberry. And then ignore the mess over on the side, but we have, I added these because this is where a lot of rainwater comes when it rains. So you've got milkweed over here, cardinal flower, which the hummingbirds are just obsessed with. And this willow actually came up by itself, so that's kind of what inspired me to get this little kind of wet feet loving plants going on over here. And then a bunch of tomatillos, which I thought were bell peppers. That's my life story. And then you can actually see a cucumber right over there that I've never harvested. I'm just really bad at picking the vegetables sometimes. It's hard to see when there's a little jungle over there. So yeah, that is my little quick and dirty native plant garden tour. And I hope that you all enjoyed it and maybe get a little inspired to plant some native plants.